Well, good evening to you. In a turn of events away from what the country has been accustomed to and considered to be a norm, the church seems to be reclaiming its voice after decades of compromise following recent events that saw a Catholic church returning a donation from President William Ruto. Tonight, we look into a possible dalliance gone wrong too soon. Also tonight, we look at a president who finds himself in a precarious situation, juggling major expectations from Kenyans with a number of his pillar declarations under the better plan yet to come to fruition. The president today dismissing his naysayers, saying he will achieve that which his predecessors were unable to achieve. With this, other stories making headlines. But first things first, let's have a look at the highlights. Tonight, the president's message to naysayers.
This country will not fail. This great nation that God has given us will succeed. The enemies of Kenya will be put to shame.
Cabinet secretaries sign performance contracts as President William Ruto demands more from his appointees. The ruling party begins its cleanup.
I don't think that, in fact, it is the high time to punish any region, because of politics.
Legislators aligned to former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua said to be kicked out of parliamentary leadership positions. Plus, rogue digital lenders put on notice.
Kampuni zingine unapewa pikipiki kama ni hii ndogo boxer ambao kwa cash unaweza nunua 140 ama 150. Lakini unapoichukua kwa mkopo utalipa 350,000.
Public participation on 3 key bills seeking to amend existing laws governing digital lending conducted. Also tonight, homeless after demolition. 43 families lose homes to pave way for ambitious housing project in Nairobi's Woodley Estate. K24 Evening Edition begins right now. I'm Alan Owino. Our sign language interpreter for this session is Walter Asere. Now, the president has told off the naysayers, confidently declaring that the critics of his administration will be proven wrong as his government works to deliver on results. During the signing of ministerial performance contracts at State House, he emphasized that every cabinet secretary will be held accountable for their ministry's performance with rewards and consequences at the end of each financial year. This move follows sharp criticism from various sectors, including the church, questioning the government's handling of key issues. David Kagina with more.
It is just past 9 a.m. at State House, Nairobi. One by one, cabinet secretaries who are now entering the third month in office following the most recent appointments signed their ministerial performance contracts in the presence of the president and the permanent secretaries. The president exuded confidence in his appointees to deliver where their predecessors failed. His original cabinet was dissolved after a public outcry, particularly from the Gen Z demographic, which mid this year led countrywide protests.
Although we are in a difficult place, globally, economically, but I am very confident that we have the team, we have the people, and we have the plan and the goodwill to transform our nation.
The signing of the contracts comes at a time when the government is facing sharp criticism from various quarters, including the church, which has questioned the country's direction, particularly in the economic, education and health. The president remains confident that the critics will ultimately be proven wrong.
And I promise you, we will confound the naysayers. We will succeed. This country will not fail. This great nation that God has given us will succeed. The enemies of Kenya will be put to shame because we are going to succeed. And we are going to take this country forward.
President William Ruto has also vowed to enforce strict sanctions for failure, negligence, waste and misconduct following the signing of the performance contracts. He announced that at the end of each financial year, every cabinet secretary will receive a performance report card that evaluates their ministry's achievements.
This scorecard will carry recognition, rewards, and sanctions which will be applied without fail. Excellence, integrity, efficiency, and consistency will be rewarded, while failure, negligence, waste, and misconduct will promptly invite corrective action. The failure of one sector of government, one department, one agency, one ministry affects the overall performance of government.
The signing of the performance contract by the cabinet secretaries comes at a time where President William Ruto's government is being heavily criticized over its failure to deliver in its promises, with the president's clarion call being for Kenyans and state officers specifically to ensure they deliver in their mandate in order for the government to deliver to Kenyans as a whole. For K24 from State House, Nairobi, I'm David Kagina.
Elsewhere, Apajon former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's allies in Parliament had begun with the removal of Laikipia Senator John Kinyua, which was disguised as his resignation as Parliamentary Service Commissioner. As more are on the chopping board for removal as committee chairpersons and members, K24 TV has exclusively learned that National Assembly Budget Chair Ndindi Nyoro will be replaced by Finance Chair Kuria Kimani in the powerful committee, as ODM will fill Kuria's position. Joel Chacha now reports on Gachagua's allies who have vowed to remain true to their course despite the witch hunt.
In full realization of the high calling.
Just weeks after the removal of Rigathi Gachagua as Deputy President, his allies are now on the chopping board, meaning they are set to lose lucrative parliamentary positions.
Officials when they fall short of expectations.
Already the Laikipia Senator John Methu has been replaced by his Nyeri counterpart Wahome Omatinga as Parliamentary Service Commissioner. Despite the move being attributed to Kinyua resigning, he has refuted the claims, making it apparent that he was forcefully ejected.
Very, very straightforward matter. We had already canvassed who our representatives are in PSC. And given that one of our colleagues has resigned from this position, we are requesting the House to simply replace.
One of the major weaknesses of the Kenya Kwanza government is the lack of proper communication, and again, the toxic politics that have been pushed by some people for their own gains. This has seemed to isolate the government from the people.
K24 TV has further exclusively learned that Kiharu legislator Ndindi Nyoro is set to be replaced as the Budget and Appropriations Committee Chair by the Molo Member of Parliament Kuria Kimani, who is currently serving as the Finance Committee Chair. The ODM party is reportedly poised to replace Kuria Kimani with Dr. John Ariko, who is the Vice Chair of the party, to become Finance Committee Chair. Gachagua's allies say they are ready for the political repercussions and will continue to stand with the son of the mountain.
The people from the mountain, of course, feel it defranchised because they feel the deputy president has gone. Our chairs, we have a very strong seat for the chair of budget, is about to go. Maybe my chair as a select committee is not that important, but the members of my region and my constituency feel, because I informed them that I have gotten that seat, if I don't have it, I'll still go and inform them I don't have it, it has been taken away. They will definitely feel like they are not full stakeholders in this government.
He may think that he can maybe take what he has given to Murima for political reason, but I don't think that, in fact, it is the high time to punish any region, because of politics.
Despite losing perks and influence in various committees, they believe their true mandate is representing the interest of the electorates. On the chopping board are Gathonio Mushomba serving as Constitutional Implementation Chair, James Gakuya Trade Chair, Wanjiku Muhe Regional Integration Chair, Kareke Mbuki Tourism and Wildlife Chair, Johanna Ngeno Housing Chair, Nimro Dumbai Public Petitions Chair, and Vincent Musyoka is serving as the Energy Chair. Joel Chacha, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Recent events have led to the Catholic Church returning a donation from President William Ruto, continue to paint a picture of a deteriorating relationship between the church and the state. The House of God, which has been very instrumental in Kenya's political scene, seems to be taking back its power after years of aligning with the political class. Brian Amoy looks at a relationship between the political class and the religious group that has since gone sour.
On November 14th, 2024, the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, led by Archbishop Maurice Mohatia, issued a State of the Nation address accusing the government of fostering a culture of lies and neglecting the needs of the citizens.
Culture of lies is swiftly replacing the integrity and respect that Kenyans deserve.
These statements provoked a strong reaction from the government, triggering a flurry of responses. When President William Ruto addressed the matter, he did not hold back. However, the Catholic bishops found support from other interdenominational clergy who affirmed their stand. As relations between the government and the church soured, President Ruto made attempts to mend fences.
Mimi nafikiri ndio nikamilishe kesho, nafikiri nitatafuta mahali ya kwenda ibada ya Jumapili katika kanisa Katoliki ndio iwe complete.
On that Sunday, the president donated 5.8 million to the Catholic Church in Soweto, Nairobi. However, the gesture backfired almost immediately, with the Archbishop Philip Anyolo of the Nairobi Archdiocese criticizing the donation as unconstitutional. The Catholic Church is the latest addition to a growing list of religious groups openly challenging the government.
When you see another group of the church saying we are going to call a demo to go to the streets, we are going to tell our people not to allow you to donate money in our churches. So this is something that should wake them up and tell them that since 25th of June of 2024, the country has never been the same again.
Evangelist Teresia Wairimu, founder of Faith Evangelistic Ministries, a church frequently attended by President William Ruto and First Lady Rachel Ruto, also criticized the Kenya Kwanza government. In her sermon, Wairimu lamented the church's waning confidence in the president despite their earlier support. Beyond the Catholic Church, other religious organizations have also voiced strong objections to the government policies. The National Council of Churches of Kenya condemned the Finance Bill 2024, arguing that it places an undue burden on ordinary citizens. Anglican Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit similarly criticized the government, particularly its failure to address economic challenges affecting the youth. He called for immediate solutions to high taxes, the housing levy, and the soaring cost of fuel. The Evangelical Alliance of Kenya has been vocal in opposing proposed religious organizations bill of 2024. The bill seeks to impose stricter regulations on religious institutions, including taxing church income. The EAK described the bill as unfair and restrictive, warning it could hinder their ability to provide critical social services such as health and education.
He really whipped the church in campaigning against the Constitution of Kenya 2010 in terms of inciting believers and making them believe that the Constitution allows abortion in this country. And that thing, that narrative of same-sex marriages, all those nonsense that were being fabricated, and because of the ignorance of people of Kenya, and most of Kenyans did not have a chance to get a document even to read or even understand it. So that wave was used by William Ruto to influence the church.
It's not just Christian groups taking a stand. The Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims has also criticized the government for delays in reconstituting the IEBC and for rampant corruption in government. As the reactions continue to grow, Kenyans are left grappling with the widening rift between the government and the faith-based institutions, with the Catholic bishops' actions receiving praise from the public.
Hiyo pesa yote nao mafadha waliregesha hiyo pesa na wakasema hawataki. Kwangu ningesema kidogo niseme, hiyo pesa mungechukua mupeleke children's home.
Tena pesa ambazo ni za hongo. Hatutaki pesa ambazo ni za majivuno.
President William Ruto continues to face opposition from a group that propelled him to power. Attempts to woo them to his side failing day by day. Brian Amoy, K24.
President William Ruto's political fortunes in the vast Mount Kenya region appears to be dwindling by the day if the sentiments of sections of residents and local leaders are anything to go by. The ouster of Rigathi Gachagua as deputy president is said to have compounded President Ruto's woes in ensuring the region backs him in the 2027 general election. Ian Kitanyi tells us more.
As the political matrix of the Mount Kenya region takes center stage yet again, the once perceived President William Ruto's political bedrock is now rocky, following the ouster of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who hails from the region. The vote-rich Mount Kenya region has for years been considered the most crucial voting bloc in the country, having voted in favor of the country's two former presidents in Mwai Kibaki, Uhuru Kenyatta, and more recently, overwhelmingly voting for President William Ruto in 2022. Nyeri residents who just a couple of years ago defended and voted for President Ruto now say the commander-in-chief is on his own, left to reap what he sowed.
William Samoei Ruto umaarufu alipoteza kabisa, hata watu yani hata kwa roho zetu. Mahali Mount Kenya imetanda, kila kona ya Mount Kenya hakuna mtu anasikia William rais hata kidogo. Na sijui, na naona kama ni doto kwa roho za wa Kenya, watu wa Nyeri, kwanza watu wa Mount Kenya hawezi rudi kwa roho zao. Hiyo ni kitu tulisahau kabisa. Na sijui kitu yenye anaweza fanya ili arudi. Sijui kunaweza kano atafanya ile miracle, lakini sidhani, sioni akirudi kwa roho. Kwa Mount Kenya ameisha kabisa.
Hiyo maarufu yake umeisha juu ametuagusha kama watu wa Nyeri. So mi naona hata sio hapa Nyeri, Mount Kenya yote hana umaarufu wote. Ametumia watu wabunge wetu kuagusha naibu wake mwenye alifanya tumpe kula. Alifanya hivyo.
The Senator Wahome Wamatinga, who voted for the ousting of Rigathi Gachagua, holds the opinion that President Ruto's support in the region will be heavily dependent on the implementation of key pledges made during the campaigns.
We came into power with very, very high expectations from the voters, and especially about the high cost of living. This the government has not been able to address fully. Of course, there's a lot that has been done, but the impact on the ground has not been well felt. Therefore, the president has a lot of work that he needs to do. We also know that the political temperature went very, very high unnecessarily. The siasa of the Mulima versus the rest of the Kenya were not necessary, and this also seemed to pit the president against the people of Mount Kenya. What the people of the mountain are looking for are good places for their coffee, for their milk, for their macadamia, for their avocado, for their tea. Once they get that, and once the president is able to deliver that, he will have the people, the support of the mountain region and the south.
Recent events have laid bare the situation in the region, with President William Ruto bored during a church event in Embu County on Saturday, on the same day and event that the reception, according to his political friend turned nemesis Rigathi Gachagua and former President Uhuru Kenyatta, was seen as a message to the head of state. Kipipiri Lomeka Wanjiku Muiha now says President Ruto's goose is already cooked and he has lost ground in the region.
Hii imeenda. Mlima imeenda. We saw in Embu. So lazima sasa kazi ifanywe sana kubwa, na what I would say, some of these things are the ones making the Mlima to go. Could this continue happening, then we are only sharpening Wajiko's appetite to do the necessary come 2027.
The looming purge in the National Assembly is said to be yet another storm in waiting. Those targeted being perceived Rigathi Gachagua's sympathizers, top among them Ndindi Nyoro, James Gakuya and Wanjiku Muiha. Tharaka Nithi Senator Mwenda Gataya refutes claims that the support for President Ruto in the mountain has shifted, insisting that President Ruto enjoys massive support in the region.
Mount Kenya East, Mount Kenya Central, Mount Kenya West, bado tuko nyuma ya His Excellency the President of this Republic, William Ruto, na deputy wake Kithure Kindiki. Sijasikia kama kuna mgorogoro.
They say one day is a long time in politics, and there are many days to go before the 2027 elections. Ian Kitani, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Well, we take our first break right here on K24 Evening Edition. But before that, let's take this update right here. The Court of Appeal in Nairobi has rejected a request for interim stay orders sought by the Rebel Jubilee Party members led by Iala, Member of Parliament, Kanini Kega, and former Cherangany Member of Parliament, Joshua Kitun. Following an early ruling by Judge Janet Mulwa that the party's meeting held on the 10th of February 2023 was improperly convened and in flagrant violation of the law and the party's constitution, Kega and Kitun moved to court and filed an appeal that sought to overturn the High Court decision listing Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni and Vice Chair David Murathe as respondents. Despite filing the petition as urgent, the appellate court declined to grant the stay orders and instead set the hearing and determination date to the 7th of March 2025. Well, let's now take that break. We'll be back with more updates in just a short while.
Have you watched K24? We would love to hear from you. Send us your feedback on what you like and what you don't like and why. You can use any platform to reach us. We can be reached on Facebook, Twitter and WhatsApp.